Have you ever wondered how a vehicle that combines speed, firepower, and versatility can be the difference between success and failure on the battlefield? The Alvis FV107 Sabre light tank is one such remarkable machine. In this video, we will take you on a journey to uncover the secrets of this armored reconnaissance vehicle. Why did it become a favorite among military strategists? What made it stand out in the heat of battle? Stay with us as we dive deep into its history, design, and combat stories that reveal its true value. By the end of this video, you'll understand how a humble combination of parts created a war machine that could outmaneuver the enemy, provide critical intelligence, and punch above its weight. The Alvis FV107 Sabre light tank is a vehicle that emerged from necessity, as military forces constantly sought to balance capability with cost-effectiveness. The Sabre was developed by combining two already successful designs: the turret of the Alvis Fox armored car and the hull of the Alvis Scorpion light tank. This simple yet ingenious fusion created a machine that could perform reconnaissance while packing enough firepower to defend itself and its crew. When you think of tanks, the image of a heavily armored, slow-moving behemoth might come to mind. But the Sabre broke that mold. It was designed to be fast and nimble, a vehicle that could gather crucial intelligence on enemy positions without being bogged down by excessive armor. Its role as a reconnaissance vehicle meant it didn't need to engage in head-to-head combat with enemy tanks, but rather to spot threats, relay information, and slip away before being detected. At the heart of the Sabre's effectiveness was its armament. The turret housed the 30mm L21 RARDEN autocannon, a powerful weapon for its size. The autocannon could fire both armor-piercing, AP, and high-explosive HE rounds, making it versatile enough to engage lightly armored vehicles, infantry, and even buildings if needed. Imagine being a soldier in the field, relying on a vehicle like the Sabre to provide covering fire or disrupt enemy movements. Its firepower could make all the difference in a tense situation. But the Sabre didn't stop at just the 30mm cannon. It was also equipped with a 7.62mm general-purpose machine gun, GPMG, which was later upgraded to the more advanced L94A1 chain gun. This made the Sabre even more reliable in combat, as the chain gun could be reloaded quickly and fired continuously, giving the crew an edge in fast-paced engagements. The Sabre's mobility was another key to its success. The hull borrowed from the Scorpion light tank gave it exceptional off-road capabilities, allowing it to travel across rough terrain at impressive speeds of up to 50 miles per hour. Picture the Sabre darting through forests, over hills, or across deserts, gathering intelligence and relaying it back to command. Its torsion bar suspension system ensured that it could handle the bumps and jolts of cross-country travel, keeping the crew relatively comfortable and the vehicle stable. Despite its light armor, the Sabre was built with survivability in mind. The front-mounted engine provided some protection for the driver, and the crew of three, driver, gunner, and commander, were seated strategically within the hull and turret to maximize their chances of survival. In later versions of the Sabre, smoke grenade launchers were installed to help the vehicle create its own cover in the heat of battle, giving it an extra layer of protection. When the Sabre was introduced in 1995, it quickly found its place in the British Army's reconnaissance units. It was perfect for scouting enemy positions, assessing terrain, and reporting back valuable information without needing to engage directly in combat. One of the Sabre's strengths was its ability to see without being seen. In battle, this can mean the difference between life and death, not just for the vehicle's crew, but for the larger forces relying on its intelligence. The Sabre saw action in some of the most intense conflict zones of the late 20th and early 21st centuries. It was deployed during the Yugoslav wars and in the Gulf War, where it performed admirably in reconnaissance missions. In these environments, the Sabre's speed and maneuverability were critical. Imagine driving through a war-torn region, tasked with finding out where the enemy is hiding, while knowing that being spotted could mean coming under fire. The Sabre's ability to move quickly and quietly made it invaluable in these situations. However, no vehicle is without its limitations. The Sabre's light armor meant it was vulnerable to heavier firepower from enemy tanks and anti-tank weapons. Its role was not to engage in direct combat with these threats, but rather to avoid them. Over time, the need for better crew protection became evident, and upgrades were implemented to help the Sabre adapt to the evolving battlefield. One example was the addition of smoke dischargers, which allowed the vehicle to obscure itself from view, giving the crew a chance to escape dangerous situations. In the heat of battle, the Sabre was often used as part of a larger strategy. It worked in conjunction with heavier tanks and infantry to provide intelligence and support. For example, while larger tanks like the Challenger 2 would engage enemy armor head-on, the Sabre would skirt the edges of the battlefield, identifying enemy positions and reporting back to command. Its agility and ability to stay out of direct combat made it an essential part of these operations. The Sabre's relatively short service life, retiring in 2004, doesn't detract from its impact. Over those years, it played a vital role in modern warfare, adapting to different terrains and combat situations. Its flexibility and reliability made it a favorite among those who operated it, even if it wasn't the most heavily armed or armored vehicle on the field. What made the Sabre truly special was how it fit into the broader picture of military tactics. It wasn't designed to be the star of the show but rather a critical supporting actor. Whether it was gathering intelligence, providing light fire support, or relaying vital information, the Sabre excelled in its role. In war, success often comes down to how well all the pieces work together, and the Sabre was an integral piece in many operations. The Sabre's legacy is a reminder of the importance of reconnaissance in modern warfare. While heavy tanks and artillery often grab the headlines, it's the smaller, more agile vehicles like the Sabre that ensure those larger units know where to go and what to do. By providing real-time intelligence and maintaining situational awareness, the Sabre was able to influence the outcome of battles without ever being the focus of the fight. In the years since the Sabre's retirement, reconnaissance vehicles have continued to evolve. Modern designs have incorporated lessons learned from vehicles like the Sabre, prioritizing speed, versatility, and survivability. But the Sabre will always be remembered as a key player in the transition from traditional tank warfare to the more fluid, intelligence-driven strategies of today. If you've enjoyed learning about the Alvis FV107 Sabre and its role in modern military history, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories about military vehicles and tactics. We post videos like this regularly, diving deep into the details of some of the most important machines in warfare. Don't forget to like the video and leave a comment below. Let us know what other vehicles or military topics you'd like us to cover next. Your support helps us continue bringing you content that takes you behind the scenes of military technology and strategy.